think about why I got into wilderness therapy. Some of it was kind of by fluke, I have to admit. This job has been excruciatingly difficult at times, a lot of times. And I'm filming this in July of 2020, and I'm not going to put it online until I leave. Oh, look at this. It's like bright purple in person. This doesn't even do it justice. It's like bright purple. This is so amazing. Let's see if we can get it to show up. No, that's about as good as it's gonna get. It's stunning. But yeah, I'm filming this in July of 2020, and I'm about a month and a half away of giving my notice to leave. And I have zero qualms about this, mostly because of the super challenging internal politics inside of the company, which don't work for me. It's really, it's stressful. I used to be so much more stressed out driving out here because I bottomed out a couple times. I got stuck in the mud a couple of times, 2-3 times. Got stuck in the snow too, actually. And when it's really rocky like this, it's possible that you can, bottom out. Like I've scraped my oil pan and busted my oil pan and had, like $4,000 or $5,000 worth of repairs to pay for, which doesn't, they don't cover that in your salary. So it's kind of on you with your vehicle to be a wilderness therapist, which is a bummer. I think that keeps people out of the industry, or keeps them out. They just get tired of that stuff. It's like, in my opinion, or from what I understand, a lot of companies don't take care of. I don't know what it's like at other companies, but you get a certain amount. It just doesn't cover a lot of what, the wear and tear on your car that you actually put on it. So once I leave this job, I will get a new nice car that I'm not beating up so badly, pretty much, unless they're really dangerous. I have to go out in it. So, and then do therapy. So yeah, it's interesting that way. And I've had one time where I just didn't go out that day because it was too dangerous. It was so muddy, and it was this road that just dropped down into a huge ravine, and you totally could have died if you just went off the cliff. So I turned around, didn't go in that day, and I had to be ATV'd in and out to get to the group that week. So I talked to somebody who lives in Montana who drives the same car as me and said he's never gotten stuck in mud before, and he's in that car. And I said, well, it's not the same kind of mud we have down here. It's like red clay mud. It's very different. And it's really, really thick and deep and slippery. I definitely had trauma driving out here, or had to do work on it and deal with that in my nervous system, because I was having like really intense anxiety episodes about driving. And I drove some trucks and they weren't any better, so it's not like necessarily driving a truck would have been better. I'm going into a little stream bed here. It's dry, but I have to go really slow, as you can see. again, it's never been, you know, like I come out here Tuesdays and Wednesdays and hang out with like a bunch of 13 to 17 year olds. And they're so, most of the time, they're so freaking awesome. They're kind, they're funny. They're not always kind. They're funny, they're loving, they are themselves a lot of the times. Like yeah, they're just really special. It's never been that. It's a lot of the other stuff that comes with this industry and the company that I work for and the way that I've been treated. And so yeah, I don't have a lot else to say that I feel like I can say here, but just that I have wanted to leave ever kind of since I got here. It's finally warm. It's just really windy. So we deal with all the elements. We do therapy in the wilderness. It is what it is. There you go. Dealing with discomfort builds resilience. So, including in myself, not just with our kids. It's my last sunset in the field, and it's gorgeous. Yes. It's chilly too. We're getting ready to leave. We did it. It took us 100 hours.
It was easy.
I deeply believe in finding freedom in all areas of our lives. It's a continual process and can take some time to create the life you want, but I've found it to be totally worth it. When I was a wilderness therapist, I was on call 24/7, 365 to take any kind of emergency call from parents, staff, or my bosses. We never got a break until they finally, after years, changed their policies so we could have a rotation for the therapists on the weekends. You were expected to respond to the phone, email, and text within a few hours without exception, or else receive very harsh feedback from people inside the company. I knew early on in that job that I would need to leave eventually because it was so demanding and unforgiving. That was on top of being vastly underpaid for the amount of work we were expected to do. It was a very rewarding job, but also highly demanding. There was a lot of emotional abuse that happened there from bosses to clinicians, and they only took good care of you if you brought in a lot of money for the company. I stayed there by choice to get the training and supervision I wanted and needed to become really good at what I do, and then leave because they treated me so poorly and my lifestyle and health were suffering.
So we're hiking up to Benham Falls. It's pretty short. We'll probably go a little longer than that. I already had a full training today that I did, and we were just talking about how nice it is that we can just leave the house and be somewhere in 20 minutes to hike somewhere and still have all this daylight.
So, really excited as usual. Let's see.
In order to find freedom from things that aren't serving us, we need to know both what we don't want and what we do want instead. I knew I wanted to live wherever I wanted, be location independent, fire my bosses, and set my own rates. You can do this too, but it takes time, work, and a lot of patience. There were so many times I wanted to quit and had to call on friends and family to talk me down because I was so upset so often there. So I knew I wanted to live in Bend, Oregon. I knew I wanted a dog. I knew I wanted to never answer to a boss again. And I would never allow myself to work such a demanding, thankless job again or be on call, ever. That was my dream. It might not be yours, but I fully support you in whatever feels like a dream to you. My channel is all about creating the life you want, not the life someone else prescribes for you. That can be anything. You define your life. You create your destiny. So follow along, like and subscribe to my channel, like this video, and visit me over on my website, jennapacelli.com. I will link that below for any free downloads on all areas of freedom. So I'm curious, what does your dream life look like? What are you looking for freedom from? What does freedom mean to you?